Welcome back, everyone. You know, we're always looking to save money, whether that be electric or gas. We're not really sure which to go, but we're going to find out with automotive expert Tom Grothous. Welcome, Tom.
Welcome. Thank you for asking about what to talk about.
I am so confused on this, and you're kind of explaining it before we went on air, so we're going to discuss this now. So, electric versus gas, what's going to save you the most money?
Well, it depends. Do you want the most expensive car is going to be electric, because we're talking $60,000 compared to $33,000, $35,000. If you're talking fuel cost, electric's going to be cheaper than gas.
Okay.
So that gives you something to go with. If you're worried about the technology, you've got the technology on cars, on gas cars, that is as good a technology as on an electric car. The difference is the maintenance cost is going to be less on an electric car than on a gas. And you're saying, how's that? Because most of the electric cars, all of your maintenance, if they have to do an update or something, they can do it over the air and do it, bingo. They'll update the computers and the motors and you're done. With a gas car, you've got brakes, you've got exhaust, you've got spark plugs, you've got tune-ups you have to do, you got oil change. That's all over and above that you wouldn't have with a car. So it's going to be cheaper to drive an electric car than it is a gas vehicle.
Interesting. So I'm going to ask you another question about, because when you fill up, what's going to get you the most mileage normally? Probably electric, right?
Well, as we talked before, I said, I like to go empty on my gas tank and then fill it up, and I know I've got 350, 400 miles before I have to fill it up again. I don't like to go to gas stations because it costs me money. With electric is a total different ball game. If you have to stop and go to the restroom every 100 miles or something, you probably want to go with electric because you'll be able to find a filling station or a charging station at a filling station anymore. And you'll be able to charge it up while you go into the restroom and maybe get a snack or whatever. So it's two different mindsets of how you want to do it. If you like that driving and get there 400 miles or 300 miles, gas is the only way to go. Now, if you're looking at doing that, you want to go 600, 700 miles before you have to stop, go with a plug-in hybrid. They can get, for instance, the Pacifica can get 600, 700 miles to a charge and a fuel. So you drive for 100, 150 miles on the electric, and then depending on how you want to drive it, you know, if you're doing a lot of stop and go driving, the electric will take over. Out on the highway, the gas will take over. So you can go that 600, 700 miles with a plug-in hybrid.
Yeah. So we see when we're filling up with a gas tank, you know, we see the prices go up, they go down, they go, you know, they're all over the place. Is that the same with electric?
Yes, because when you go on the road, you're buying the electricity of wherever you're buying it from, and there's always a second or a third party in there that's got their fingers in the till, so it costs more. But 90% of your charging, if you have an electric vehicle, is at home. So you can have a level 1 charging at home, which is 110 volts on a 15 amp circuit, where you leave it set for 10, 12 hours and you can charge up 80% of your car. That there, you're talking $6, $7 to charge up, compared to charging up your gasoline car 80% of the time. So then a level 2 means you have to put a little more money in it. You have to pay probably $3,000 to $5,000 for a level 2 that's a 50 volt or 50 amp service, and you have an electrician have to put it in. That can charge up in 6 hours. So, you know, it's 6 one, half dozen other, how much you want to do that. And then the level 3 is when you're buying it out on the road, where you're paying second, third, fourth parties that are into it, you know, whether you're a club or whatever. So that gives you some idea of what it is. And it's, like I said, it's a mindset. But if you're going to drive your car, like if you don't do a lot of
long distance,
traveling 300, 400 miles away, electric car is the way to go, because running to a higher end electric car. So if you're looking at an electric car, you're talking $60,000 to $65,000 in investment. But that will go 250 to 300 miles for a charge. So you could go to Columbus and back on that, you know.
Yeah.
So you have to look at how it is. And like I said, it's a mindset, but the fuel cost and the maintenance cost is less on an electric car than a gasoline vehicle.
Yeah.
But the initial cost is higher.
It is definitely higher, yes, for the most part. So we also talked about the longevity of how long you want to keep your car before we went on
That's what
air.
everybody worries about is that battery,
Yeah,
right?
it's always
10 to 15,000 for a battery. How do I pay for that? Well, you know, anymore, if you have an engine overhaul, it's going to cost you $10,000 to put a new engine in it. So, or a transmission anymore, 10 to 12,000.
Yeah.
So, it's about the same thing. But if you trade your car off every 8 years or below that, get electric. Because the electric battery is going to be guaranteed for 8 years or 100,000 miles. And if you go with a Kia or a Hyundai, they're 10 years or 100,000 miles. So you don't worry about that electric battery. You worry about the other little things.
As always, interesting topic, Tom. Thanks for coming on. I appreciate it.
I just wanted to mention that if anybody has anything that they would like brought up, to let you know.
Yeah, definitely.
And we'll get this, because this came up from Chris. He said, can you give us some information? That's what I want to do.
I was curious. All right. Well, thanks
Okay.
again, Tom.
Okay.
All right. Well, don't go away because medical news is coming up next.